Apologies, dudes, but I get back just in the nick of time to get into this match, and somebody's lagging out. Oh, God. Hey, I didn't miss a damn thing. What do you know? All right. So, quick remake. I'm sorry, man, you guys have no idea. I've been holding that in for like 3 best of 3s at this point. I was like, I'll make it to the end of the cast. No problem. Just kidding. Just freaking kidding. By the way, I don't know what sorcery is going on that we've got about 3,000 people still tuning in while WCS is going on, while Calder was casting. I don't know what sorcery we have going on today, but I want to thank you guys kindly for tuning in and joining me on the cast. I came today fully expecting to have like maybe 200 viewers at best. There's the No Dice Gaming Invitational, there's WCS Europe, there's going to be Calder casting. But somehow we maintained 3,000 viewers. What the fuck? Thank you for tuning in today, guys. Thank you for joining me on the broadcast. And if even a quarter of you are using, or even if like only a quarter of you are watching ads, still thank you, because you make the day more worthwhile. Now, what's going to happen here? Because I talked about it earlier. I'll grab the replays from the Easter Team Story Cup today, but I won't be casting them today. Probably Thursday or Friday, maybe. But the matches that I can't cast live, I'll make up and we'll cast them later in the week, because I know some of you guys did request them. Anyways, Way Station coming up. See you guys here in a sec. Fucking intro, what are you doing? No!
Hell, it's Base Trade TV.
Yeah, I know you guys saw the Heavy Rain intro. I kind of missed that. I really liked Heavy Rain. That was one of the ones I was sad to see go out of the map pool. But yeah, no, I pressed the wrong buttons here. Getting a little flabbergasted and hungry. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last best of 3 today. This determines the second player in Group B who will be joining the likes of Jakshi, Hyun, and Zanster in the ZOTAC season finals. A 2,500 euro tournament. It's a lot of cash on the line. Spawning here, though, in the lower right corner of the map from Empire, the Red Terran player, Happy. Currently down 1 at the moment, sadly. See if he can bring it back. His opponent, but also teammate, leading the series at the moment, 1-0, the Blue Terran player, Empire Kass. Alright, so at the moment, that last game looked very one-sided. But if we can be quite frank, a lot of weirdness came out of Happy that game that kind of dictated the flow. I mean, let's be honest. A hidden base as your natural, it's a cool move. But it got discovered pretty freaking quick. As far as what Happy can do this game, I would say just play a solid game. His TVT is pretty darn good. He goes up against Jakshi on a fairly regular basis, and Jakshi and Happy, I'm not sure what the Aligulac stats would say, but from the times I've cast them, it's been pretty back and forth, where Happy won a best of 3, then Jakshi wins the next best of 5, then Happy won the best of 5, and then the best of 3 qualifies for IEM, and then back and forth, trading and blows. So I know for a fact, and I've seen it myself, and I've cast him firsthand, beating some really talented Terran players. Happy completely has it in him to beat Kass. That being said, it's completely true the other way around. Kass has always been pretty good at TVT. It's been very solid. Empire Ints for the Easter Team Story Cup in Season 2. His TVT reigns supreme. Granted, I think their whole team was pretty much T. It was like, what, Braddock, Empire's Kass, Happy. I don't even remember who the 4th member was, to be honest. But the point... Elfie, right, because his Empire Ints. The point remains, though. He's always been pretty darn good at this game. What is this SCV doing? He's dancing with the Reaper, who was looking for the SCV. Some running around the rosy metagame stuff going on there, but sadly this SCV will die.
First blood.
Poor guys. Just explode in their suits. They don't even get a puddle of blood. No effigy. Nothing. But second Reaper scurrying across the map. This will be awkward. This is a game of chicken. I think they kill each other at the same time. Nope, that one died a little bit sooner, so yeah, decided to back up. I was listening for the shots to try and figure out which one attacked first. Because, of course, it's that millisecond that makes all the difference. But happy with the second Reaper would have won that fight to follow up one way or another. Oh, good point, guys. No blood in space. No one can hear you scream. Well, actually, there is blood in space. We see it all the time. Zerglings, Mutalisks, Overlords. You sillies. Unfortunately, with 2 Marines, though, it's going to be a little too much DPS, and he will lose one of his own Reapers. That is quite unfortunate. Turns around, though, he can win this Reaper fight. Not unless the Marines get involved, though. Alright, so happy not off to a good start here. 1 SCV down. One Reaper down. Let's go for some Hellions behind this, and with a second gas? No second gas, so it's not going to be a Banshee follow-up, but also no second gas here out of Kaz. Kaz, of course, also has his natural base basically set up. He's just to float it over. It's actually a little bit faster than Happy's, but not by much and not a big deal. This small push across the map, let's see, quite bold. It's worth noting too, guys, if you're unfamiliar with Waystation, because this map does get vetoed quite a bit right now, this is always a cross spawn map no matter what. But you can also spawn down here in the top right. And the way this happened to spawn out this time is just insane how long it is. This is seriously one of the longer maps in the map pool when it I guess gets these spawn locations in it. But this fight in the middle of the map not going so great here initially. Already losing that Reaper kind of sucks. And a Hellion going down as well. These Marines, they got DPS, but that's 4 Hellions they're going to have to worry about. Some hit and run tactics out of Happy, not some auto attacks. Going to allow him to kite around and actually take out these Marines. And of course you can pull these back and repair those Hellions up pretty quickly. So a pretty good fight for him and a pretty poor engagement here out of Kaz. Now I said it wasn't going to be Cloak and it wasn't going to be Banshee, but I guess the Ghost for Kaz came down a little bit later. I can't even speak at this point. I'm sorry, dudes. I should have eaten breakfast before the cast. I do this every freaking time. I'm trying to hold it together here. I'm trying my best. But I've been drinking water all morning. That's about it. Anyways, Kaz with 4 Hellions in the middle of the map. Can't get a lot done, sadly. If he had a medevac paired up with this and went for a drop or something, that could be kind of neat. But instead, we got a Raven coming out of Happy to, well, I don't think he saw this by any means, but he's kind of predicting the Banshee follow-up. As his Hellions go across the map, he will be scouted by the Watchtower, so it's really nice that Cass has control of this, but ooh, might be in an actually really bad position for an engagement. He's lined up really nicely. Happy wraps in from the side. Hellion versus Hellion engagements are the most frustrating things. Unless you guys have ever played a micro tournament battle, you have no idea how frustrating Hellions versus Hellions can be. All it takes is one small movement to lose a fight, and it takes one small movement to win a fight. Wrapping off to the side, getting that left shot off. Whatever the case may be. He's trying to repair the SCVs that are under attack. That's actually a really cute move, considering there is no turret to stop this. Buys himself a little more time, but Cass may not have Cloak, but there's a Raven already here ready for him, so this is unfortunately going to be somewhat limited in his damage. Move and shoot, because of course otherwise the Banshee won't run you. Banshee gets crushed, and not a lot comes out of this. Cass, whoa, hold the phone. Is he going Emil! Freaking Emil. He did so good today. He lags here at the end. Honestly, the Cass is actually going mech behind this, guys. I didn't notice this right away because I just simply assumed it was going to be bio again, but going to be matching mech for mech by the looks of it, which means we're going to see a ton of Hellions involved in the advancement of this game. I mean, honestly, in a perfect mech versus mech game, hey, there's a good use of the emote when someone lags out. There you go. In a perfect mech versus mech game, Hellions versus Hellions on maps are hilarious to watch. But more importantly than that are the Vikings that follow suit. You need Vikings, you need auto turrets. Both of these are armored units, so they can soak the Hellion hits. But the problem is, that was a really bad poke there out of Cass. Again, he's getting a little bit too, I don't know, really over-eager to cause damage, but he doesn't have the capability with what he currently has. Hellions come back home, and I think both players just repairing them up. I like this move too. Some Terran players you'll see, they don't really repair them. If they got 90 plus Hellions, who cares about repairing them? But yeah, really important too. Well, I guess you couldn't have 90, that'd be max supply pretty much. 180? 2 supply? Whatever. Anyways, sorry. ADD. Both players repaired up and Blue Flame is on the way. This is going to be... Okay, we talk a lot about in StarCraft 2 units that have high DPS, units that have slow DPS, units that have low DPS. But what Hellions have with Blue Flame is like glass cannon mode DPS. And what's going to happen here is both of these Hellion lines are going to just dissipate very quickly. All it takes is having one Hellion that's not stacked up, one Hellion off to the side, two Hellions pulled to the left, pulled to the right, whatever the case may be, an auto turret down, maybe some Vikings on the front lines to soak the blue flame hits. Regardless of what it ends up being, this fight is so delicate with how stupid Hellions work. They've got no HP, they deal a ton of damage really fast, and it's bursty too. It's not like Hydra DPS, which is constant. Notice with Tony, Happy's blue flame is actually slightly ahead of Kasa's, but it's not by a whole lot. Curious enough to see the barracks blocking this out. Catching scans is going to be a pain, but he moves forward to try and catch the Hellions. Unfortunately, does not see them. Does catch the tailwind of a couple tanks coming in, and he might think he's in the clear, but of course all these Hellions are waiting for him behind the smoke. Blue flame is going to go down, and as I said, both of these fights, these Hellions are just going to dissipate quickly. A couple tanks move forward, but looks like Haas was driven back anyway, or sorry, Happy was driven back anyways. Both players actually, strangely enough, disengaged with 9 Hellions apiece. We got Hellbats, we got Siege Tanks, we got this game shaping up to be that mid-game. The problem with mech versus mech, though, this doesn't have the same potential for Doom drops that, say, Bio does. And a lot of the times, that's what will win you a game. Getting on top of your opponent's production, catching them off guard with their pants down. And I don't think either of those are going to happen this time. Oh god, that's a lot of Vikings, though, for both players. It's kind of hard. You got to make a clutch decision. You know, do you put down a point defense drone, or do you go for Seeker Missiles? Seeker Missile can do a lot of damage and can be pretty volatile, but quite frankly, guys, a lot of the time it is actually landing Viking kind of a cute move. It's going to be point defense drones that'll win you a fight more often than not. But a bit of bait there, I guess, with the Hellion on the ground. These guys are still chasing the Raven, and a little bit too fast. Puts down a Seeker Missile. That's going to be a bit rough. Slaps down some damage, but Happy loses this air battle pretty badly. Cass's army supply looking pretty good. Cass's upgrades looking pretty darn good. And I don't like the way this is shaping up for Happy. He is on 3 bases, though, worth noting. Did struggle a bit with that last time, but, you know, Cass is winning these blue flame engagements. He's tagging in and out here. Tanks will keep these back for now, but it's the small engagements like this that allow him to come in, throw down something like an auto turret, perhaps pick off an SCV or two. This is so awkward and stupid, but lands the Vikings to go for the Siege Tank. What? Okay, this is coupled with some auto turrets, so that makes a lot of sense. The auto turrets take auto-targeting priority away from every other unit in the game, so as Siege Tanks would normally shoot what's shooting them, the auto turrets will grab the aggro instead, and the Vikings get out of there somewhat unscathed. That is really stupid to watch, by the way. Anyways, as the Thor comes out, Cass is going to have to give up some of this free vision he has. Whoa, whoa, pull back, pull back, pull back! Don't lose the Raven! Oh my god, what is he doing? He's giving away free units! Does he just feel bad for Happy? What is happening here? He's trying to kill this over here, sure, but like, at the cost of 4 Vikings? No. The Raven? The Raven going down was insanely bad. Okay, pulls back off of this. Blue Flame Hellions coming down here. Oh, there's nothing to defend this. Siege Tanks, we're trying to get in position. Happy has to pull his SCVs away from this. As unfortunately, that's about all he can do to deal with this. Curiously enough, for those who don't know, Hellbats actually don't fare so well versus Hellions. It's weird to consider, but the speed combined to the way Hellions deal AoE damage differently than the Hellbats actually makes them significantly more advantageous when engaging them. But of course, Siege Tanks trump everything when it comes down to it. But a 4th base being taken from both players, and I'm a bit shocked it's getting to this state. Not because it's mech. Mech versus mech, you expect a lot of bases, bottom line. But it's more to the fact that Cass has had this army that probably could have pressured this 3rd down here, forced a lot of these tanks away, but he gave up the Raven control. He gave away the air dominance. And now that there's Thor's in play, he can't even rely on the Vikings to just straight up hold position and auto-win tank fights. But he is going to try and push in here nonetheless. I'm not sure I'm in love with this choice. There's a lot of Hellbats to sort of buffer this back. Unit counting station right now, 12 to 16, 12 to 9, and 3 to 2. I mean, aside from the Thor count, Koss is ahead in a lot of different ways. What's really nice about these bases, by the way, while they are exposed, and while this is very vulnerable to something like a Zergling run by with roaches running around, this is one of the few times in StarCraft 2 where there's nowhere you can really siege up with tanks and apply pressure to this base outside of the regular choke, so to speak. Where is Cass going with this army, though? I mean, for now, it's a positioning game. It's really important that Happy is pre-siege, that he doesn't come late to the party, so to speak. He's left a couple of tanks over here, but if Cass can fake a left and then swing a big right, and there's only 3 tanks to hold, that's all it takes. But both players aren't maxed. Army Valley's looking pretty good. Happy does have an upgrade lead right now at the time of this engagement. The Vikings gonna take out the Vikings, but the Hellbat's also slugging it out left and right. Happy's tanks were not in range of the initial fight, and because of that, he loses his initial tanks to the front lines. Thor's pushing in here as well as the Hellbat coming around the backside, taking out what little tanks there are. Happy maintains a pretty good spot as far as defense goes, but Castle gonna push forward. Looking to just press the issue and abuse his tank count versus his opponents. Vikings land on the ground to soak some more hits. Thor's also pushing forward, but the Hellbats are one of the scariest things. They're going to get melee range. They're going to get in the dead zone of these tanks. And unfortunately, it looks like he's going to lose all of his tanks on this half of the map. Happy will hold up and clean this army. Army supply, though, at the end for both players in the gutters. 3 Ravens at a time coming out of cast, though. And this is, okay, yikes. If you've watched Terran play against Mech as Zerg, you know how abusive Ravens can be. It's not always the case, though, in Mech versus Mech. Ravens have a spot, and they have an area in which they're good, but they go down to Thors very quickly as they're classified, I believe. Wait, are they light units? I actually don't remember. I'll have to wait till one pops out. Is there any Ravens? No. I'm pretty sure they're light units, aren't they? Maybe they're armored. Either way, they clump up is my bottom line. So Thors, they're going to deal a ton of damage to them one way or another. I swear, are they light? I honestly don't remember. Come on, why don't you guys finish up building already? Jeez. Taking a decade over here. Yeah, they are light units. Whew. So the bonus damage from the Thors, combined with the fact that they clump up hardcore, is going to make these very vulnerable. Both players are taking island bases at similar timings, by the way. I just want to throw that out there. The difference is Happy is very much intentionally looking to make this into a planetary fortress. Kind of a cool move. Will Cass catch the tail end of this? No, he's going to miss this entirely. Yikes. Alright, that's a bit awkward, a little unfortunate. Both players have a massive SCV count too, which is worth noting. Normally, you see players top out around 70 and work on mules for the rest of the game. When you're playing Mech versus Mech, minerals are not nearly as important as gas, so a lot of the times you'll start building 14 orbital command centers. You'll start getting rid of your SCV supply and just keeping the gas count and mules to keep you afloat in the game. But while this is happening, I just want to throw that out there, both players are looking to transition to Sky Terran. Happy, of course, on 3 starports over here. I think it's one of the main, yeah. And Cass has been doing the same thing behind this. The Raven count is going to become really important. Seeker missiles, I talked a little bit before about how point defense drones may or may not make it or break it versus Seeker missiles. It's hard to judge, but when you've got this many Ravens, Seeker missiles become increasingly better. Not only are you going to be able to layer the tanks and carpet bomb the Hellbats and whatever you want, he's going to be able to put the hurt on the Viking count in the air. But again, the scary thing is, those Thors could easily end the life of every single one of these Ravens. This engagement is going to be very difficult for Koss to get in a good spot, but charges on forward. Seeker missiles going down on top of the tanks. These Ravens have got to be careful. And he will get some nice AoE damage off on the sides while this is happening. However, 3 of those Seekers were a big dud compared to the rest of these. Now the Ravens in full retreat don't even have energy to... Well, a couple auto turrets might go down. But running away from the Vikings. Oops, sorry, I put my pop filter into the microphone there. But still running away from this. It's not looking too good for Koss on the run, who had a big dominating stance at the start of this game. Awkward. He's trying to sacrifice some SCVs, but there's nothing here to kill them. Lots of orbitals are down for both players, though, and this is kind of what I was talking about. You get to this point where you start sacrificing a lot of SCVs. With 9 orbital command centers, 9 mules every 30 seconds, I mean, you really, really don't need to have SCVs. It's just for gas. Worth noting, Happy is actually taking extra bases, though, over top of Koss while this is going on. Not a big deal right now, but if he mines off them long enough, Bank and TVT, especially Mech versus Mech, will come into effect. I guess that is one of the key differences of the way this game has been shaping up. Koss hasn't been taking great engagements, but the big thing is his bank exists. He's maxed out and he's collecting more resources. Level 3 weapons are on the way, but Happy, again, he's going to have a very distinct upgrade advantage. The problem is, this isn't like Ling fights versus Ling fights. It's not like Lings versus Marines. This is tanks that are dealing like 40 plus damage against tanks that are dealing 40 plus damage. I mean, Thors are going to punch a hole through something one way or another. The armor upgrades, they will be effective, but they're not going to be game-breakingly big. This is level 3 weapon upgrades I'm looking more so at. But the Raven count for Happy is looking pretty darn good. Cass is not continue to invest too much heavily. I mean, he's already got 11, which is nice. Happy's trying to match that number. But that's a lot of Secret Missiles that will be coming out of both players. Point defense drones do go down. A couple Secret Missiles are going to chase the army back. But as we see, you can outrun them. That was odd. That was awkward. I think there was a point auto charge point on it or something. Point defense drones on mass though. Holy crap. Gotta be careful. Secret Missiles coming down the top of Happy's army. Can he outrun this? Yes, he will cause 3 duds. Point defense drones just gonna slap it down the floor. Slam! If you wanna jam! Tanks are up on the other side of the map, but still this air army is looking so scary. It's 11 Ravens that are pretty much out of energy. This is really dangerous to leave them on this side of the map. As we see turrets start picking off the point defense drones and auto turrets while dealing a little bit of damage, not helping that much. Does he know about this base? He still doesn't know about the island base. This is insane because for Happy, for Koss, he's got to be like, look, all right, I took an island base. There's a pretty good chance my opponent did too. Oh, man. Yeah, them non-stop scans are going pretty wild here, too. That's one of the other advantages to having, like, 11 orbitals in play, 10 and 7 each, is you got pretty much infinite scans, infinite mules, and you really don't need a lot. Scans continues to scan like crazy. We don't have a lot of actual engagements coming down. And Waste Station, being this massively, stupidly large map, just splits it pretty much in half, red versus blue. And another command center actually gonna get canceled. This orbital cannot lift off, sadly, as the Vikings are waiting. Pop it up, pop it up, pop it up, pop it up, pop it up. God, these scans.
Base is under attack.
It's unreal, but so important because Happy's trying to position his army, and it's if he walks into a siege line, even for a second, it could cost him everything. That's the downside of being so much of this army, you know, armored driven. But it's worth noting, Happy's Ravens are all pretty much full on energy. Koss has been running around the map, throwing out secret missiles, throwing out auto turrets like nobody's business. Oh, he's gonna split that Thor. Okay. So he doesn't actually have that much energy to work with right now. Happy's got so many secret missiles available. Both players throwing seekers out. Both players gonna cause a bunch of duds. These should still explode on the ground, in my opinion. But yeah, scans coming down, Vikings en masse, and Cass's army is huge. His bank is massive. He can afford to take a fight. Right now, Happy, strangely enough, cannot, despite having all these extra bases on the map. But those Viking volleys, those point defense drones, both players constantly disengaging. This is so scary, as all it takes is a couple good secret missiles to end the life of the other. We are seeing secret missiles go off non-stop. You know, this is a situation too we've seen in the past, and it's really special tactics, but a medevac, you load your own medevac up with a couple seekers and then boost it through your opponent's army. But we're not going to see that here anytime soon, I don't think. Point defense just keep dudding, or sorry, secret missiles just keep dudding out left and right, looking for a way to take an engagement. These ones may go off of the tanks. He's not going to get kills though. Yeah, I'll get him low but not dead. On the other side of the map though, we got a small siege going up. Nothing big, but it's enough to apply pressure. While the focus of the army is over here on the left. Secret missiles like crazy for both sides. Getting really careful. No one's really been able to trigger any secret missiles, but again, all it takes is like one solid engagement, one good hit, and that changes. Energy just kind of slowly racking up here. Siege tanks leapfrogging forward just a little bit. This side of the map actually looking pretty bad for Happy. He's starting to lose ground here in a big way. Secret missiles this time will connect, but not too much. And he actually tries to run the siege tanks into his opponent's army. Thors are going to win the fight out here on the ground, which means Thors will win the fight out in the air. These these Ravens have to be so freaking careful. But Thors are perhaps, yeah, just barely fast enough to walk away from a max range secret missile, I guess? Who knew? This planetary is under assault. Unfortunately, the siege tank will be picked off. God, this is... Every time we tune over here to this side of the map, it's just like... Because we just hear secret missiles trying to go off. Unit County Station right now, 23 Ravens versus 22. And I hear your guys' plea. If we could see the scan count this game, I would let you know. But I guarantee you it's in the upwards of like the hundreds at this point, probably. It's pretty ridiculous. Alright. This is getting a bit messy. This is getting a little bit scary. Oh, for like that heartbeat second, you're like, am I out of range? Is that going to turn into a dud? Will that connect to my army? Auto turrets are coming down. More point defense drones are... No, actually, not point defense drones, sorry. Well, there's a couple coming down, but more about the... Ooh, these Vikings getting a little bit out of position. Thor's pushing in pretty hard here. He's starting to strip away a lot of the scans, a lot of the free energy that Cass has been expending this game. Auto charts on Mass actually going to perform pretty surprisingly well here. That one Thor volley, though, took all those Ravens almost dead. It's so scary for Happy. His army is so strong, but all it takes is 1 or 2 bad volleys. Point defense drones have been neglected on both sides of the field here. And slowly but surely, the siege tank is starting to pick off SCVs. Island base is still going strong for both players. This is insane. This is stupid. This is TVT, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to come down a lot to Thor's. There's no point in going battlecruisers at this point. Ravens are already in and of themselves kind of a counter to battlecruisers anyways. So with the mass Raven count, it's Thors and only Thors that can make any sense. Maybe a nuke, but let's be honest, a nuke's not going to happen. It'd be really cool to see, but not going to happen. God, I want Happy to repair his army so badly. Drop some mules, bring some SCVs, like, please God, repair. Look at the auto turrets coming down for both players, littering the map at this point. Ravens are going to try to run away, but they'll drag a couple Seeker missiles with them. Oh my God, backside being attacked by the Thors. Again, they got that bonus versus light. Sandwiched in a very awkward situation, but a ton of auto turrets down. I didn't know this, but apparently auto turrets beat out Planetary Fortress. What do you know? Thors want those Seeker missiles going off, and Kass is losing ground constantly. Happy is slowly, and I really want to emphasize slowly, winning this game. Oh, you know what? I was kind of joking about the nuke, but an EMP out of Ghost could be sick. If your opponents clump these Ravens up like this, one EMP strips away all of their energy. And of course, you don't have to research the Mobius reactor anymore. They come equipped with it. They can EMP right off the bat. I'm not shocked. I've played this situation myself many times, granted not at a Grandmaster level by any means, but never have I really used EMPs, never have I really thought about EMPs. Maybe 1 or 2 could be good. I don't know. But a Planetary Fortress going down to auto turrets is about the most depressing thing I've seen. Do both players have building armor, by the way? No, actually, Cass doesn't have building armor. That could have played a big factor, because auto turrets are like Marines. They don't have a lot of damage, but they just attack pretty quick. But just insisting on building more Ravens for the time being, trying to get those Seeker missile hits off whatever way they can. Thor's actually being softened up by these auto turrets. It's not going down anytime soon. This base up here, once again under attack. And I guess the reason this works is because the Planetary Fortress has got such a slow attack. The ICB cannon on top has got to rotate slowly. Siege tanks also chipping away at this? I don't even know at this point. These Thors were transformed. What? Why? Oh! Because there's no projectile! Oh, this is such a clever move out of Happy. I've never seen anyone try and do this. So the reason a lot of the Thor damage is being shut down is the point defense drone is soaking up the projectile damage that the Thors normally shoot out. But in this mode, they have a cannon, not a missile, so they don't have a projectile for the point defense drone to soak up. These will actually get to connect to Ravens. These will actually get to connect to Vikings. Granted, they lose the splash damage, and they don't deal as much versus bonus versus light, but they'll still get the job done. This is a cool move. God, so many Thors. Right now, hang on guys, are you ready for this? I'm zooming out so I don't miss anything on tab out. Right now, Happy's a real thorn in the side of his opponent. Realistically though, I think Happy's about to win this game. This is looking a little bit scary for Kass. Again, a couple good Seeker missiles could change everything, but I don't think he's going to get those Seeker missiles off that he's trying to aim so desperately for. There's a couple going off on Thors, but this army, oh my God, this is the stupidest looking army I've ever seen just decimate this village, so to speak. I don't know why I chose to say village when I should have said base. But anyways, auto turrets versus auto turrets, Thors versus Thors, it doesn't matter because Kass can't connect to stop Happy. Kass has been able to do a very little counterattack damage while this is going on too. Like, he took out a base down here to the left, a big whoop. Like, it's... Your main base is under attack. He's trickling out these Thors is the problem too. He really needs to like stack these up, I think, maybe in his best case scenario. But that's a lot of Seeker missiles going off, and these Thors gonna take some big hits. However, with their stupidly massive HP pool of 400, they live to see another day. More and more Seeker missiles. Oh my God, these ones will get the job done. Actually, they won't. What the hell? Seeker missiles, I thought you were supposed to be good. Thor's too strong. But this is looking pretty messy. This one secret will go off on the Raven, but Cass did segment that off. Auto turrets going down left and right. Thor's going down. This is the closest I've ever seen StarCraft 2 to actually looking like a video game, like Space Invaders, like Pac-Man, whatever you want to define it as. He's just throwing everything everywhere, littering the map. And this is, I don't know. Part of me wants it to be super hyped. The other part of me is like happy. Your command center is under attack. He's going to look to cut out the bank of Cass. You know, that's kind of the key thing in this game, too. If we dial this back for a moment, one of the biggest things, Cass had this massive bank for the majority of this game, right? Like, this is ridiculous. Auto turrets coming down everywhere. Planetary Fortress going to go down once again. Thor's still standing here on the mass. It's 138 supply to 98. But again, Seeker Missiles could change this. He's actually trying to trap Cass in right now with some auto turrets, but that's not going to happen. Thors are like, I don't give a fuck. So they back up just a little bit more. Coming from the backside too with more Thors. Oh god, Cass is busy fighting on one side. Does he realize that there's an army coming from behind? Whoa, these Ravens are getting destroyed by the Thors! He loses his whole army! The Ravens have fallen! It goes from having 20 plus to 7. GG finally called. Tied up now, 1-1. Ladies and gentlemen, we will go to the ace match. Alright, well, I hope you can forgive me. It's been about 30 minutes. I'm going to run some commercials, and we'll see you guys for game number 3 in a moment's time.